everyone, it's Jess here from the Scrappy Sisters, and thank you for joining me for a Scrap 5 challenge. So for July's Scrap 5, we've got geometric shapes, we have got cut files or dies, we've got 4x4 photos, we have got silver, and we have got chipboard. Almost forgot that last one. So I decided I wanted to do a bit of a busy geometric background. So I cut a cut file, a Confessions of a Paper Addict cut file. It's the honeycomb cut file, but I'm actually using all of the inside bits. I'm not using the actual part of the cut file. So I could count this as both options, but I'm just counting this as my geometric shapes. And I'm coming on in with a stencil and some texture paste. This is called the Grunge Stencil from Darkroom Door, and I'm just using the entire stencil, all of those mix of things, and just whacking on some texture paste. So not trying to be too neat, not trying to be too thorough. I don't mind if there's smudges or marks or anything like that, because that's the kind of look and feel that I'm going for in the background. So once I have stenciled the entire lot and then I have let that dry, I did whack it with my heat gun. Do be aware if you do that, I'm working on a plastic bag. Obviously the plastic is going to shrivel. Not too concerned for me, I'm just going to throw it in the bin, but just so you're aware of it. I then got out my watercolor paints and some paper, and I've just gone in and like dab in 4 different colors, 2 different greens and 2 different reds. Now my camera cuts out. I didn't realize that it had cut out, but my camera cuts out. So this is the end product. I have also splattered some silver splatters onto that as well. And I've glued it all down onto a plain white sheet of paper. So I'm really happy with how it looks. But then I realized it's actually a little bit hard to use. It's super busy, which, as I said right from the start, this was the look I was going for, but I'm thinking now in hindsight, perhaps I shouldn't have stuck all of the hexagons back onto the page. I should have left some blank, some spare, just to add a little bit more white space to the layout. So instead, I'm going to create my own white space, and I'm going to stick this big square of white right smack bang in the middle of my page and cover a whole chunk of those gorgeous geometric shapes. I know, crazy, but what can you do? And then I've got a piece of, it's not vellum, it is tracing paper. So tracing paper is a lot lighter in size, and I'm going to stick that on top as well. And it's a little teensy smidge bigger than the white paper, just to add a little bit of effect. Now, one of the requirements was to have 4x4 photos. Now, unfortunately, I had already printed all of my photos in 3x4 size, so I couldn't achieve that goal. And I could have done 3x3, and I know you guys would have forgiven me, but instead I have done quite large mats around my page, and I have done 1, 2, 3, 4 mats around my page, and I've ended up making my photos all 4x4 size because of those layers and layers of matting. So geometric shapes, check. 4x4 photos, check. Cut file, ta-da, here it is here, check. This is the Floral Cluster 3 cut file from Confessions of a Paper Addict. Chipboard, here we go, smashing it out. So these 2 little pieces of chipboard are from a super old Kaiser Craft collection that I just had in my stash. I didn't think I was going to have any chipboard, and I was going to have to use my title as my chipboard, which is fine. But luckily I found these little bits in my collection. So the green doesn't quite color match, but I think I can get away with it. Now, some of you might be wondering how I stuck down my vellum or my tracing paper. I didn't really, because I don't like being able to see the adhesive. So I did put 2 large pieces of adhesive onto the tracing paper right underneath my photos. You might have seen that. But the right hand side is not really adhered down at all. So where my glue is sitting at the moment is a piece of chipboard, half on the vellum and half on my hexagon, so it's not really sticking very well. So I'm hoping by doing that That will be enough to sort of help hold it in place, and along with that cut file as well that's half on and half off. Then in terms of silver, I use silver splatters on my background, but the title is also silver font, and it's just a super simple, it says gifts. I was going to write a little bit more, but I didn't have very many letters in this particular collection left, so instead I've just kept it simple. I did want it to fit in that space as well, so there's the other reason. Popping on just a few more splatters on top of my cut file and in between my photos. And then I am almost done. I am going to get a few clear rhinestones that again look a little bit silvery, that I can get away with being silver. And I'm going to pop those in just those chipboards, in near those chipboards, just to add a little pop to those. And then this scrap 5 layout is done. So hexagons are my geometric shape. My silver is my splatters, and my title, my chipboard, are the little sort of circle and ornaments on the top right and bottom left. I have got a cut file, and I have got 4x4 photos if you count all of those mats. So thank you so much for watching. Make sure you check out all the other people participating in the hop by looking in my description box down below. Thanks everyone, it was so lovely to have you.